When Sun and Saturn come together, it is a wonderful conjunction. Sun is the source of consciousness. When the early morning rays of the sun fall on your eyes, you wake up. Sun plays a vital role in the process of self-awakening. You can live your life when you are conscious. As long as you are ignorant, you continue to exist. There is a big difference between living and existing, which is filled only by your state of consciousness. Sun is the light of consciousness. Saturn is the judge. And so when they both come together, the native is blessed with the unique quality of making decisions, making judgments with consciousness, awareness. And that is how these natives cannot stand injustice, cannot tolerate discrimination, cannot accept slavery. Swatantra Veer Savarkar is one beautiful example of Sun-Saturn conjunction. He could not tolerate the slavery and the injustice that the British forced on his fellow countrymen. He revolted, he stood against all odds and fought with the mighty Britishers. One of the most memorable slogans of Veer Savarkar is, "O Motherland, sacrifice for you is like life, living without you is death." Swatantra Veer Savarkar was indeed the greatest freedom fighter that India had ever known. Reminds me of Mahatma Gandhi's words when he appreciated the great qualities of Veer Savarkar. Mahatma Gandhi, in the month of May 1921, while seeking release of Veer Savarkar, says, "Veer Savarkar is clever, he is brave, he is a patriot. The evil in its hidden form of the present system of government he saw much earlier than I did. He is in the Andamans for having loved India too well. Under a just government, he would be occupying a high post." These were the words that Mahatma Gandhi said in praise of Veer Savarkar. Great freedom fighter is born with Saturn-Sun conjunction because, as mentioned, they cannot stand injustice. They cannot tolerate discrimination. The light of consciousness, when conjuncts the judge of the universe, that is Saturn, how can you expect the native to tolerate injustice? Impossible. He will revolt, he will rebel, he will fight till his last breath, but he will never compromise. To live a life of compromise is worse than death. And to live a life of truth, even if it is for a single moment, is far more valuable than to live eternally in lies. To die for truth is far more valuable than to live in lies. Saturn-Sun conjunction native, especially those who are evolved souls, never compromise. They will prefer to die than to compromise. And I am also absolutely against compromise. Death is far more beautiful than a life of compromise. There was a great man, a black man, who fought for his countrymen, who revolted against the imperial British cruelty in South Africa, and his name was Nelson Mandela. Nelson Mandela says, a nation should not be judged by how it treats its highest citizens, but its lowest ones. Judged, you see, Saturn Sun conjunction natives, as mentioned earlier, are very conscious when it comes to judging. Nelson Mandela also was a Saturn Sun conjunction native. Saturn Sun conjunction equals to judging with the light of self-consciousness. Nelson Mandela says, as we let our own light shine, we unconsciously give other people permission to do the same. How beautiful are these words. Whenever Saturn comes in contact with outer planets, planets that appear after our planet Earth, such as Mars, Jupiter, Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto, a certain depth of understanding is seen. And when the king of the universe, Sun, conjuncts Saturn, then you can understand how deep understanding a native with this conjunction has. Such a native perfectly understands the significance of life than anybody else. What counts in life is not the mere fact that we have lived. It is what difference we have made to the lives of others that will determine the significance of the life we have lived. Nelson Mandela and his wife both had to go through many hardships. Saturn signify hardships, but they continued to fight for self-rule, and self-rule is signified by Sun. On one such occasion, Mandela's wife was sentenced to prison. But Nelson Mandela is not moved or is shaken. Instead, he writes a beautiful letter to his wife who is in prison. In the letter to his wife, Nelson Mandela emphasizes on the significance of meditation. He writes, "You may find that the cell is an ideal place to learn to know yourself, to search realistically and regularly the process of your own mind and feelings. In judging our progress as individuals, we tend to concentrate on external factors such as one's social position, influence, and popularity, wealth, and standard of education. But internal factors may be even more crucial in assessing one's development as a human being. Honesty, sincerity, simplicity, humility, purity, generosity, absence of vanity, readiness to serve your fellow men, qualities within the reach of every soul, are the foundation of one's spiritual life. At least, if for nothing else, the cell gives you the opportunity to look daily into your entire conduct to overcome the bad and develop whatever is good in you. However, the letter is still not complete. The last lines of this beautiful letter must be written in gold, and they are as follows. Mandela writes, regular meditation, say of about 15 minutes a day before you turn in, can be fruitful in this regard. You may find it difficult at first to pinpoint the negative factors in your life, but the 10th attempt may reap rich rewards. Never forget that a saint is a sinner that keeps on trying. How deep is the last line of this letter? My fellows, whosoever is listening to me, please listen this last line again, which Nelson Mandela writes to his wife who is imprisoned. Mandela writes, "Never forget that a saint is a sinner that keeps on trying." How deep are these words? So much so that I am speechless. Only a meditative being can truly understand, resonate with these beautiful last words, which reveals that it is only when you keep trying and trying, that one day you will slip out of the mind and attain enlightenment. The key is keep trying, never give up. The most significant point for you all to remember is that no matter what you are, you have to keep moving, and you can move only when you keep trying. Great things happen to those who always keep trying, keep going ahead, keep moving. Always remember, the spiritual journey involves going beyond hope and fear, stepping into unknown territory, continuously moving forward. The most important aspect of being on the spiritual path may be just to keep moving. Saturn-Sun conjunction natives perfectly understand the significance of being persistent. You cannot attain the truth out of curiosity, because truth needs a persistent effort, a continuity, a perseverance, which a man of curiosity cannot have. A man of curiosity can do a certain thing for a certain period of time, but then there is a gap, and all that he has done is undone. A man of curiosity cannot reap the result. He can sow the seeds but cannot wait, because millions of new interests are always calling him. He goes to the south, he moves to the east, he goes to the west, then to the north. His energy is not moving towards a certain goal. He may be very active, but it is all futile. Perseverance is needed. A continuous hammering is needed. This perseverance comes through the conjunction of Saturn-Sun, and the native never gives up. He always keeps trying. Remember Nelson Mandela? He is such a great man of perseverance that not only he himself is persistent in his efforts, but he also brings awareness to his wife by helping her realize the significance of perseverance, the significance of trying again and again until the goal is attained. Interestingly, Saturn-Sun conjunction creates a great interest in bodybuilding. My father also had a Saturn-Sun conjunction, and although he passed away when I was 14, still I remember few instances when he had mentioned about his devotion towards bodybuilding. I was a bodybuilder, he had said then. And indeed that is a truth. Later in life, I came across many Saturn-Sun conjunction natives who were either great bodybuilders or who had great physical stamina. When the topic of bodybuilding comes, how can we forget the great actor and bodybuilder Arnold? Arnold Schwarzenegger also has a Saturn-Sun conjunction in Cancer sign. Virgo ascendant, Arnold looks young even when he crosses 50 years age. Virgo ascendant has that special magic. I have seen many Virgo ascendant men and women who look astoundingly young even when they cross 60 years age. Youthful look is the USP of Virgo ascendant men and women. Many Virgo women look beautiful and young even in their late 50s. In exception cases, even a woman or man who has Virgo moon looks youthful in spite of being aged. That is the beauty of being Virgo in nutshell. Saturn-Sun conjunction need to fall in the perfect soil, that is, in a perfect horoscope to manifest positively. Virgo, Libra, Gemini, Taurus, Aquarius ascendants are perfect environment for the seed of Saturn-Sun conjunction to grow, to flower, to manifest positively. Struggle comes naturally to Saturn-Sun conjunction natives. Although Saturn-Sun conjunction brings struggle, but it also provides you with the qualities to face the struggle and attain the goal. Always remember, a man of curiosity never has a goal to attain, but a man of perseverance has a goal to attain. There is a certain purpose to his life, a certain unfinished business that need to be finished this birth, this life. Perseverance is a great element of success. If you only knock long enough and loud enough at the gate, you are sure to wake up somebody. Just like Arnold, the Russian President Vladimir Putin also has great attraction towards bodybuilding. Connection with administration always comes when Saturn conjuncts Sun. Vladimir Putin has been the head of Russia from 1999, and Arnold also later became the governor of California. Vladimir Putin has Saturn-Sun conjunction in Virgo sign, 6th house. Saturn-Sun conjunction natives generally come from a very humble background, and they start their career from the lowest rung, but steadily grow and progress, and a time comes when they attain the highest post in the office. Vladimir Putin began his career as a KGB, a Committee for State Security Officer, in 1985. He later became the head of FSB, Federal Security Service, State Security, in 1998. Just after 1 year in 1999, Putin's destiny took a U-turn, making him the acting Prime Minister of Russia. On 9th August 1999, Putin was appointed Prime Minister by President Yeltsin. And then exactly after 1 year, in May 2000, Putin was elected as the President of Russia. Today, he is the longest serving president, almost 20 years in power. Unless there is a good balance in act, you cannot remain in power for so long. Saturn-Sun conjunction brings this unique quality of making right decisions by following the voice of the heart and balancing the act. You all should remember that life is a great balancing act. When you have two extreme polar ends, Saturn and Sun within you, then you have to learn how to balance the act. And natives with this conjunction indeed master the art of balancing, which in turn gives them an edge over others. The best and safest thing is to keep a balance in your life. Acknowledge the great powers around us and in us. If you can do that and live that way, you are really a wise man. The most unique observation in regards to Saturn-Sun conjunction is that the native typically is born in a common man's house, because Saturn signifies commoners. However, with his perseverance, determination, and fighting spirit, he rises to the status of king, because Sun signifies king or someone at the top post. Saturn, a commoner, comes in contact with Sun, the king. And so it is observed that the native, though belongs to a family of commoners, still comes in contact with someone who is on the top post. Example, Vladimir Putin was born in a common family of farmers. However, he comes in contact with Russian President Boris Yeltsin, who becomes his godfather and selects Putin as his successor. Based on individual's level of karma and consciousness, the godfather's story manifests, meaning irrespective of status, level or position of the native, at some stage the native meets his godfather who helps him progress in life. Saturn Sun conjunction native is a street smart person, meaning he learns more from experiences than from classroom sessions. He can quickly understand your real motive, your real agenda, even though you try to mask yourself with a sweet talk and a pretty face. He is like that godfather who says, I have learned more in the streets than in any classroom. We all have enemies. In fact, nowadays we also have enemies on the virtual platform. Since our major time and energy is spent on virtual world, the world of internet, the world of web, the world of social networking. So we have many jealous and sick secret enemies on the social platforms like Facebook, Quora, or for matter LinkedIn or YouTube. But a Saturn Sun conjunction native never is quick to react and get mad at his enemies. He thinks without getting angry. He is always cool, but thinking something very dangerous on how to strike at his enemy without being angry, without making much noise. In fact, a Saturn Sun conjunction native never hates his enemy because that affects his judgment. Always remember, never hate your enemies, it affects your judgment. To execute a certain operation, one has to be very secretive and should never let his enemies know about what is his next move. And Saturn Sun native is an expert in being very secretive. He never lets his enemies know about what he is thinking and what he is up to. The most important lesson in politics or in any game is never let anyone know what you are thinking. When it comes to power, Saturn Sun native is perfectly aware that nobody gives you power. You have to take power. You have to snatch it with all your might and intelligence. Power is not a material possession that can be given. It is the ability to act. Power must be taken. It is never given. Saturn Sun native is in fact a highly cinematic character who goes through many adventures and many ups and downs and many power games. In nutshell, their life is a perfect masala movie. Saturn dislikes Sun, the commoner dislikes the king, and so the native is someone who never receives affection from his or her father. Either the father is very strict or the father is very dry and insensitive towards the son or daughter. Many times the father of the native is a loser or has lived through more miseries than otherwise. But the father angle is not positive, though the relation with mother is good. Still, somehow the native feels that he has not received the kind of love and caring from his parents that he is supposed to receive. A feeling of being treated unfairly is always lurking within their mind. And this feeling of being treated unfairly, not receiving what they rightly deserve, remains throughout their life. No matter where they go, they always feel that they haven't got the love that they deserve. And this is the whole problem with human beings in general, that they think that they deserve love. They want to earn love, but that is not possible. Love is not deserved. You cannot earn it, and you cannot do anything to be worthy of it. Love is a sheer gift. The reason love is so scarce in the world because we are expecting that people should deserve it. Only then can they get it, and that is something which is not a commodity. It is a value which is not of this world. You love someone, you cannot say why. You cannot answer, you can simply say, I love. There is no rationality in it. Love is experienced when you are receptive to love. The moment you receive my love, the moment you receive love from someone, you have experienced love. And the man who has shared love with you, who has loved you, is also happy. But that is not what happens in this human world. You expect that when you have loved someone, then that someone should also love you back. And that is where you miss. You miss the whole essence of love. You miss to realize that love needs no validation. Love needs no response. Love needs no give and take. Because love is not a deal. Love is a feeling, a pure feeling. As long as someone receives your love, it is enough. Remember, he could have rejected your love, but he is receiving your love. Always be grateful to the person who receives your love. Don't expect him to be grateful. These are the wrong attitudes. This is how we have made this world loveless. We expect the loved person to be grateful, which is absolutely wrong because he could have rejected your love. You have to be grateful that he received it, opened his heart, and was available to you. What more worthiness is needed? True love needs nothing in return, expects nothing in return. When you love, you simply love. Love is happy to give, always happy to give. And you will give only that what you have. So to love other, you have to first start loving yourself. Only then can you love, only then can the fragrance of your love reach the farthest shores of this planet and beyond. A man who loves himself takes the first step towards real love. It is like throwing a pebble into a silent lake. At first, circular ripples will arise around the pebble, very close to the pebble naturally. Where else can they arise? And then they will go on spreading. They will reach the farthest shore. You will love yourself only when you are living in the state of awareness. Reminds me of a beautiful story. There was a great sage and many people followed him, but he never initiated anybody as his disciple. His followers would come from faraway places and say, please accept us, initiate us into the truth you have achieved, open the door of your temple to us also, we are thirsty. But he would say, you are not worthy, you don't deserve. First become worthy of me. And his conditions were such that nobody was ever able to fulfill them. He would put such conditions: be truthful for 3 years, not a single lie. For 3 years be celibate, not even a thought of a woman or a man, and so on and so forth. Those conditions were impossible, and those conditions are such that the more you try to fulfill them, the more you will feel it is impossible. You can be a celibate if you don't bother too much about it. But if you think too much about celibacy, then you will be surrounded by many women in your mind. Many people had tried and nobody was successful. So nobody was initiated. Then one day, the great sage was dying. He was on his deathbed and only 3 days were left for his death. He called his closest followers. They came. The sage said, now you go and whosoever wants to be initiated, I will initiate. Only 3 days are left. The people knew him well, and they said, "What about your conditions?" He said, "Forget all about those conditions. In fact, I was not ready to initiate anybody. Hence, I was insisting too much on the conditions. Now I am ready, and I am full, and I want to share. Now forget all about the conditions. Whosoever wants to come, fetch them, and be in a hurry, because only 3 days are left." He initiated any and everybody. Whosoever came, people could not believe it. They asked, "What are you doing? We are sinners." He said, "Forget about it. I was not a saint up to now. That was the only trouble. I had nothing to initiate you into. There was no door. I was standing outside the door myself. But now the door has opened. Now I have to share. Now there is no question of any conditions." This is how it happens. When you become love, when you experience love yourself, only then can you initiate others into the shrine of love. When you are aware, you are not in need of love. When you are not in need of love, you become capable of love. Only a man and only a woman who is capable of being alone can truly love. The first lesson of love is to learn how to be alone. Life of the native with Saturn-Sun conjunction is so full of tragedies and swings and many upheavals that often love is missed. But the message to all Saturn-Sun conjunction native is, learn to love yourself. Learn to appreciate and be grateful to the man, woman who receives your love, who resonates with your love. They need not respond to your love. They may have some compulsions. They may have some other different expectations. That is fine. That is perfectly fine as long as they receive your love. Because love succeeds the moment it is received by those to whom you give. It is a beautiful conjunction, especially for evolved souls. Souls who are taking efforts to move towards the state of consciousness. This conjunction indeed is a blessing in disguise. In the Upanishad, there is another word for Brahmin, and it is called Dvij. And the word Dvija has a beautiful deep meaning to it. The Upanishads mention that not by birth is anybody a Brahmin, but only by knowing the Brahma, the ultimate reality, one becomes a Brahmin. And the another name for Brahmin is Dvija, which means twice born. The first birth is of the body, the second birth is of the consciousness. Dvija, twice born, Brahmin. So beautiful is this, and this is what Jesus also says to Nicodemus. You have to reborn. A second rebirth is necessary. Jesus is also referring to the second birth, which is Dvija, second birth of the consciousness, of living in the state of consciousness. No matter how much you travel, you may go all around the world and you may read all the scriptures of all religions and faiths, and yet at the root of all is consciousness. Realize you are the consciousness and that everything that arises and subsides is dependent upon consciousness and is made of consciousness, says Sri Nisargadatta Maharaj. Sun-Saturn conjunction is indeed a great conjunction since it has the potential to bring consciousness to the forefront. It is a conjunction that never gives up. Reminds me of Thomas Edison. Thomas Edison says our greatest weakness lies in giving up. The most certain way to succeed is always to try just one more time. Thomas Edison, a legendary scientist who is the fourth most prolific inventor in history, holding 1093 US patents in his name. Edison has a Saturn-Sun conjunction in Aquarius sign. Saturn-Sun conjunction individuals never give up. They keep trying and trying until they succeed, until the bulb lit up. I have not failed, I have just found 10,000 ways that won't work, says Thomas Edison, who invented the first bulb. These natives possess the quality of perseverance, never giving up attitude, which indeed is the foundation of success. Thomas Edison says many of life's failures are people who did not realize how close they were to success when they gave up. Can you imagine how many times Bill Gates must have failed before inventing the Windows system? He failed multiple times and yet he never gave up. Bill Gates also has Saturn-Sun conjunction in Libra sign, and Saturn is exalted. Many legendary figures are born with this conjunction, but the essence that you all should understand is that this conjunction gives a strong character, willpower that enables the native to do well in his profession. The native with this conjunction may have many setbacks in personal life, may lack the love, may lack the affection from father, but it does well, extremely well in professional life. Life is just like that. It never comes in a picture perfect mode where there are peaks, there are also deep valleys, and that is how life is. That is how the nature of life is. The higher the peak is, the deeper the valley will be. Near Mount Everest, the deeper valley exists, and it can only exist there. That is how life is. And in case of Saturn-Sun conjunction, this appears more prominently. The native succeeds in attaining his professional goals, but suffers on personal front. Always remember, you feel alive when you work towards a certain goal, a mission, a purpose. Saturn-Sun conjunction is beautiful because it brings a certain goal, a purpose to your life. And then you are no more the same, then you are fired up, then you are ready to risk everything. Then a great roar arises in your being, the roar of freedom. Then you are no more a sheep, you become a lion, you become courageous. A Saturn-Sun conjunction native is a person who is willing to lose the sight of the shore, because it is only when you have the courage to move away from the shore that you can explore new horizons. You cannot swim for new horizons until you have courage to lose sight of the shore. Change is the nature of life. Except change, everything else changes. And native with this conjunction are open to change. Their whole life goes through many changes, and in the process, they evolve, they mature. And so, the message to natives with Saturn-Sun conjunction is that though you are well equipped to sail through the many storms of your life, still it is necessary that you relax and spend some quality time with your family, because personal life is always at stake, love relationship is always at stake, marriage is always at stake. So it is necessary that you maintain a good work-life balance and focus on enhancing the quality of your relationships. The quality of your life is the quality of your relationships. Personal life is indeed a life that deals with relationships, be it with your lover or with your parents or with anybody. As long as your relationships are in good shape, your life in general also stays healthy, stays in good shape. So that's the message. Focus on enhancing the quality of your relationship and life will continue to blossom. Love yourself, live free, live young, let go, and always remember there is always someone out there who loves you. Meditate.